And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationship for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, hosted by me, best-selling author Sadon Long. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode. And we are still in the middle of our 7 Steps to 7 Figures playbook. And we're lucky enough to be on step number 7. Step number 7 is what? It is completion. And completion means that literally we've gotten to the end. But in this particular case, what completion means is that we've actually gotten to the point where the business is starting to run for itself and run without you having to run, drive, or push it. Step number 7 is you get them to demand. Okay. So, what does it mean when I say get them to demand? I mean that we talked about referrals and we talked about getting our clients to be kind of a beacon to attract other clients to us in the last podcast from the 7 Step series. And step number 7 is get them to demand. Now, imagine how cool it would be if every time somebody saw your client and asked them, well, who's doing your hair or who's cutting your grass or who's washing your car or who's doing your marketing, that they named you. And then they followed it up with, if you don't do business with this person, you're crazy. If you don't use this person, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you don't use this person, lose my number. See, that's what you want. A lot of people talk about sharing. You know, the people share your content. Okay. But again, this is for business owners. This is for grown folks. This is for 35 and over adult business owners. Shares are cool, but sales are better. So what you need more than shares is people to demand that you do business with you. That's what you need. So now there are some steps that you can use to get there. You know, and part of those steps is just simply making sure that when it gets to this point that your customers are fully aware of how to do business with you, fully aware of what you've done for them regarding to do business with you. Because at this point, a lot of times, if people don't know what you've done for them, then they can't fully explain it to other people. So part of the journey for you is, and this before we get into any of the other steps, is just simply understanding and being able to communicate to your customer what you've done for them so that they can then regurgitate it to other people, you know, so that they are clear on what the process is so they can sell other people. See, when you start selling, the problem for you is people don't trust you. But when they start selling, it sounds way more believable because they used you to get the result. So now their sale of your business is a lot different than your own sale. You could say you're great all day, but if 10 people say, man, he's one of the best I've ever worked with, how much better does that feel? I think it's great when I see someone post something that says, that, I am, great at what I do, because to the person on the outside, they're going, they didn't have to do that. So, with that being said, you want to make sure that they're very clear on what you do, what you've done for them, so that they can then articulate that in their posts and their videos and everything else that they do. Now, how do you identify those people? Okay. The way that you identify the people who will demand that other people do business with you is by asking the magic question. And the magic question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to your family, loved ones, or friends? 1 being unlikely, 10 being most likely. So the reason you want to do that is the 8, 9, and 10, those are called net promoters. So you want to get those 8s, 9s, and 10s. So when you get those 8, 9s, and 10, those are people who are going to come multiple times to your restaurant or whatever your business is. But they're also the people who are going to check in. Those are the people who are going to tell their friends. Those are people who are going to bring their friends. So in everything that you do in your feedback form, it should always say on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you? 10 being most likely. And every one of those people you want to make sure that you reach out to, which leads me into step two. You want to make contact with those people. Those are the people you want to do the testimonials for you. Those are the people that you want to basically become the face of your brand. You know, I'm a huge fan of Marshall Goldsmith, and he always talks about Alan McCauley and what he's learned from Alan and how working with Alan has been so wonderful. But in the process of promoting Alan, he's also promoting himself. You know, he's saying, hey, the CEO that turned around Ford is a client of mine. Here's what I learned from the CEO who is one of the greatest CEOs of all time. Here's what I taught the CEO. But then also in the process of that, there's also the recommendation process. There's also he's the gold standard of clients. So if they're in a position of authority, if they're in a position of leadership, and they think that you're a 9 or 10 on the almost likely tell somebody else about you, hey, you want to make that person a part of your business. I get it. I understand it. You're like, well, that's kind of, you know, promoting them and not promoting me. But it is promoting you. It's promoting you in the sense that this is what I did for that person. you know, and the person in turn will then tell everybody that they know. That's why we kind of always want to link steps 6 and 7 together and like wrap them up, because you talk about the great work that you've done with these people and you talk about how great they are. And then they show their friends the videos, they show their friends the ad, they show their friends the article. So again, that's why leading to step number 3, you know, which go back to step number 6. And if you haven't listened to step number 6, which is, the testimonial and how do we use the testimonial, you go back and use your testimonial blueprint, which I'm going to go over again right now so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. I'm just going to give you a quick overview. Where you want to start in your testimonials is what were you doing before you used our product? What were you doing before you hired us? How are you trying to solve your problem? Were you doing nothing? Were you using something that wasn't working? What were you doing? And then the next step is, well, what triggered you deciding to use someone? What was the trigger point? Did you see an engine light? Did you, feel a twinge in your back? Were you sleeping poorly? What was the thing that finally made you say, come on in? I need to come in today. Okay. So when you do that, now you're able to steal that out of the conversation and use it for marketing. Because now those are symptoms that people are dealing with that you can then use to drive your business. You know, so now you say, well, what about us stuck out? What about us made us stick out to you? Again, which separates you from your competition, which separates you from the other people who do this. And if you're faster, easier, simpler, with less stress, then that gap widens that much more. So now not only are you taking market share, you're able to use your clients to do it. So again, now you want to shift to, okay, well, when did you know it was working? And when you start to get to when did you know it was working, now again, that shoots you right up the ladder. Because first of all, it says that it's working. Second of all, what it does is it gives people something to look forward to start looking toward. So now when they're doing it, you can say, okay, well, when did you know it was working? You know, like for me as a business owner, I knew it was working when guys who weren't business owners knew what I did for a living. You know, when I was having football conversations and guys were going, hey man, stick to the marketing. I'm like, oh wow. So not only do people who do business with me know what I do, people who don't do with me know what I do. You know, that's when I knew it started to work. I knew it started working when my phone started ringing, when my inbox started filling up. And it was filling up with people who wanted to do business with me, who didn't have to figure out what I did, who didn't want to have an appointment. They just simply wanted to know how much it cost and where they could pay me at. That's when I knew it was working for me. Again, to quote Alex Ramosi, who I'm a huge fan of, by the way, both of those books are really awful. I mean, really awesome. 100 offers and $100 million offer, $100 million lead. Yeah. In my mind, I keep saying 100 lead, 100 offer, and I can't remember if it's a million in the middle, but I think it's a million in the middle. But just type it in on Amazon or Google, it'll pop up. Great books. You should own those. Own them both. And one of the things he talks about is you keep giving until people start saying, "When are you going to come out with something I can buy?" You know, till they ask to pay you. That you keep giving till they ask to pay you. When's the album coming out? When are you coming to my city? Same principle. You know, but part of that process is using your testimonials and taking full advantage of your best students and taking full advantage of the people who love you. Because those are the people who are the most excited about you, who will give you the most passionate testimonials, who usually have gotten the greatest results. Now, I very seldom see people that I've gotten great results for not have great things to say about me. Now, I could be wrong. Experience is if I have someone who rates me 8, 9, or 10, they usually have positive things to say about me. You know, they usually will refer me to someone else. They usually have no problem getting on a camera, getting on a Zoom, going into a social media platform and basically endorsing me. But you have to be able to identify them. And the easiest, simplest, fastest way to do that is with the magic question. How likely are you to recommend me to someone that you love, care about, respect, work with, someone you have to see every day, someone that, if this doesn't go right, they're going to call you, show up at your house, they're going to blame you at the family reunion. How likely are you to recommend me to them? Because that's a person's inner circle. How likely are you to let me in your inner circle? So when you start looking for who should I get the referral from, who should I ask for the referral, who should I put on a live? Who should I do a podcast with? Who should I get a testimonial from? Who should I ask to do a case study? Those are the people you do it with. Okay. So again, if you're going to ask, because the problem with a lot of us, and this is just the truth, is we ask for the wrong thing or we ask for too many things. If you want people to share, say share. If you want people to like, say like. Okay. If you want people to refer you, say refer me, please. And then here's the extra little piece to this. Here's the bonus. Because again, I want you to have a win every time you watch or listen to these podcasts. Here's the extra win. The extra win is you start to tell them what your ideal customer looks like. Okay, here's what my ideal customer looks like. So again, if you know someone who's 35 plus, who's in business, who has been talking about ways to grow their business, scale their business. If they've been complaining about it's hard to get sales, if you heard them say people don't support, if you've heard them say any of those things, send them over to growingrich.com. So when you do that, now they are able to easily go out and identify who your customers are. And then the cool thing about it is because they love and respect the relationship they have with you, what's then going to happen is they're going to tell them how much you cost. They're then going to, basically prep them and say, don't embarrass me. You know, don't try to ask for a discount. Don't try to ask for a sale. Make sure you're on time for the appointments. Make sure you do the work he asks you to do. And then you get a much better result. So the client has done all the work for you. Shout out to Juan and Alexis. I worked with Juan first, and Juan is short for Juanita. So I worked with the two of them. Juan is Mo Better Nails. So anybody who's looking for, customized nails and, in a one-on-one atmosphere, check out Mo Better Nails. You can find her on all your social media platforms. So I worked with Juan first. And she's like, hey, man, my homegirl, she's thinking about starting a catering company. She's going to write a book. I know that you wrote a book and that you're a best-selling author. Think you could help her. Sure, have her give me a call. She gives me a call. We have a conversation. Guess what? We start doing business together. So from that, she's able to become a full-time entrepreneur who's able to take care of her family. Also someone I'm extremely proud of both of them. Anybody who knows me, I refer to them as my babies. Um, yeah, man. But it's great in those type of situations when you can see the impact. But there are also people who never had a problem, saying, "Hey, man, you should work with, if you're interested in doing this, you should." So again, when you start to teach the customer what you're looking for, they'll start figuring out who amongst their circle, peer group, people adjacent to their peer group, and they'll refer them. They'll demand, hey, don't go to the other guy, go to my guy. Yeah. So again, you want to make sure that you are doing everything possible to identify these people. You want to constantly look through that 8, 9, and 10 and sift those people out and get the best ones because that's going to take your business and it's going to explode it. There's nothing better than a guy sitting down with somebody complaining about how things are going wrong. And then the person sitting across from them says, call my guy. He'll fix that for you. You know, I mean, funny enough, and if you watch the pre-show before the pod on Facebook, this just happened today, by the way. So apparently Juanita's been on my mind because I was talking about her in my pre-show before the pod. I go away, have some lunch, I come back, and there's someone who wants to do business with her in the comments. Now, I don't know what she's doing. She's probably doing nails or she might be, on vacation. I have not a clue. Haven't talked to her. But there's somebody who wanted to do business with her. And because I'm such a fan of her and I spoke with her so glowingly and I laid out why her business works so well and who it works well for, somebody wanted to give her some money. So again, how cool is that? You know, that you could be at home, minding your business, and all of a sudden somebody say, hey, I saw somebody talking about you on something you knew nothing about. And because of that, I want to do business with you. This just happened today. So again, it works. It works for me, it works for my clients, it works all throughout the industry. You know, I mean, we're always looking for the referral because especially if you're someone who's well off, you know, especially if you're someone who's well off. If you're well off, you only let a few people into your inner circle. The more money you have, the less friends you have. Now, you might have a lot of people around you. You might have a lot of associates, but the less amount of friends you actually have, because now the people around you may not necessarily always be around you for the right reasons. So people who are well off, they live and they thrive on referrals because they don't have the time, nor do they want to risk making a mistake by being out in the community. So here's how it looks. So got a client. He needs a video guy. So we're like, okay, well, man, let's try to find somebody local. Couldn't find anybody local. Didn't really know these guys. Don't really trust these guys. They seem like scammers. Well, I got a guy up here. No problem. I'll fly him down. So my video guy here, you know, shout out to Malcolm. Malcolm's a great guy. Jones Management, great company. He flew him down. Malcolm's at home, minding his business, had nothing to do with any of this. But because my client didn't want to be in a situation with people he couldn't trust, he leaned upon me to then bring him someone that he could trust. Simple as that. So again, either side of this, look at it from a thousand different angles. You can look at it from the ground, you can look at it from up on high. You'll see that when somebody's extremely happy with you, they'll put people in touch with you. They'll pick up the phone, they'll make an introduction. And those people are typically on that scale of 1 to 10, those eight, nines, and tens. So again, that has been the 7 steps, and it's generated millions of dollars. You know, and where it's a little bit different than what you usually get from a marketing guy is that most people stop with step one, which is get attention. Maybe the good ones go to step two, you know, which is get an opt-in. So step one is get attention. So maybe people are like, oh, look at your impressions, look at your follows, look at your likes. We're doing really well. And if you are getting more follows, likes, and impressions, that's great. Then maybe, if they're a little bit better than the average guy, they're going to say, how, look how many people, we got to opt in. Look how many leads we generated. Look how many people, new followers we have. You know, so that might be, eh, somebody who's pretty good at what they do. But here's the problem: you still haven't gotten a sale. You still have not gotten a sale. So yes, your follows went up. Your insights went up, your engagement went up. And by the way, when you're looking at those things, please make sure that you look at how long people are actually staying and watching. Because if they're only staying for 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's going to give you a view, but it's not going to give you enough time to persuade someone to buy from you. So that means that you need to work on the front end of your ad or post or video or whatever, because people are watching for 3 seconds and they're getting off. So with that being said, that's something that I constantly work on for myself. That's not a dig at anybody. That's something that personally I have to try to get better at, just like anybody else. Like, how do I keep people interested longer? So with that being said, you know, your average guy, maybe he gets you just some follows, but now what starts to separate good from okay is, can it get you some sales? Did we get some sales out of this? Because if we didn't get any sales out of it, what good was it? We spent money on a marketing guy. We shot the videos. We brought the people down. I put my best outfit on, and I didn't get not $1 in return, which is a problem. So where the 7 steps starts to differ is now at, mind you, we're just at step three. Step three is just simply, hey, man, we got to get a sale. So we're focused on offers. We're focusing on making sure that not only do we get attention, that we get the right attention, we get the right information in regard to lead information, and then we get those people to buy. And then once we get those people, because we know it's hard to get customers and we don't want to just keep, trying to get new customers, then we figure out how to get them to stay. How do we keep them engaged? How do we keep them on the books, so to speak? And then step five, because that was step four, is how do we get them to buy again? Like, what do we create to give them the ability to purchase from us again? If you do lawn care in the summer, do you do snow removal in the winter? Can you partner with or hire a team of people who come in and do cleaning? So not only do we clean the inside, we clean the outside, and you start to build a corporation and a moat around your client. So now we've gotten up till we get them to buy again, which leads us to 6 and 7. How do we turn our clients into stars? So that they then become a beacon and they attract business to us. Because now when we start talking about success rate, what that'll do is it'll minimize the amount of times you miss. Because people will watch the testimonials, people will read the testimonials, people, especially if you do them the way I'm telling you to do them, people will be drawn to it and they'll want to do the same things they've seen those other people do, because those other people just laid out how it could be done. Take your business through the roof. And then step number 7 is get them to demand. So now you got them out there, they're recommending people, strongly recommending them, and the business is growing by itself. Because now I got one customer, that customer then bought from me multiple times. So I got 3 sales out of one guy. So that's 3 sales. Then they gave me 3 referrals who all gave me 3 sales. Now I got 12 sales. And the videos I shot with them again gave me another 10 new customers. Okay. Now, mind you, I haven't done anything. All I've done is follow the steps, which is how you create this self-scaling sales machine. Because now, not only are you getting the most out of each and every customer, you're getting them to give you other customers, whether directly or indirectly. And with that being said, now you're able to focus on your business. Now you're able to improve your processes. Now you're able to hire better people. Now you're able to innovate and figure out new ways to better serve your clients because now you're not worrying about chasing customers around. You know, you shoot some content with your clients. Now you just chop that content up. So now you have less of a load, even in regard to content creation, because now you're using your clients to do the work. And I don't really like the word use. I really prefer the word partner, but you know what I mean. So again, with that being said, go back, watch all 7, work on each step. If you have any questions, man, go over to growingrich.com and hit the make money fast button and we'll talk about it. Any step that's not clear to you, any part of this that you think that is too difficult for you to do yourself and you want my help, or if you just need to know if you're doing it right, give me the opportunity by just going over to growingrich.com, hitting the make money fast button because it's free. So I mean, what's the overhead on that? So I'll give you some of my time, insight, experience, and skills. And it's not uncommon for people to take that 15-minute call and actually get off it and start making money. And that money's all profit because you didn't pay me. So again, go over to growingrich.com, make sure you sign up. And with that being said, as always, man, this is your business big bro, Sit Down Long, aka the most dangerous man in marketing. Until next time, this has been another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adults, Entrepreneurs, and Business Owners. Have a great day. Love you.